I made the remark previously that even though I wasn't picking Joseph Parker to defeat Deontay Wilder, just how focused he was on the eve of the fight, the way he was talking, I'm going to win by KO. He had this tunnel vision about him that was quite engaging. And he wasn't just talking about beating Wilder, he was talking about the big plans he had for 2024. And it kind of reminded me of that phrase of, I'm not looking past my opponent, I'm looking through them. The New Zealand-based Samoan was obviously feeling as good as he's ever felt in his career. He knows the partnership between himself and Andy Lee is bearing fruit probably every time they go in for a gym session. Continuing to capitalise on this momentum, which they feel is good enough now to catapult themselves right in to Zhilei Zhang. And with it being another very good fight on paper at heavyweight, it just gave me reason to pause and be like, man, Parker has fought a lot of good guys at heavyweight. He's got a bit of a who's resume. All right, he's not going to fight Tyson Fury because he's his bud, but Joshua, Dylan White, Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder, he's really got stuck in, which is kind of, you could say, reminiscent of the spirit of the 1970s. Everybody should be doing this. Now, Spoon asked you, and then you told Spoon that you have Zhilei Zhang defeating Joseph Parker. Kind of the result I was expecting. You've got a fair share for Parker to win on points. Certainly the more likely route to victory if he comes in with a squeaky clean game plan, utilising his superior footwork and agility. But with the Chinaman being such a better boxer than Wilder, so much better balanced being the key point, it's going to make the entries and exits a lot more hazardous for Parker. The quick hands, the two-fisted power, the counter-punching ability. Most of you saw that as the reason why Zhang wins this one by stoppage. But with Parker being a full decade younger, with him possibly not yet having reached his true peak, he is as live as an underdog as you're going to get. His movement, his agility, he has the ability to frustrate Zhang, and he has a great co-pilot in the corner there, in Andy Lee, to advise him what to do, who he talks to in the corner, which I think is very important, and oddly enough, not that common. I know fighters are tired when they sit down, but a lot of them just seem to take the motivational and sometimes just barking orders, nod along, then it's back to it. Parker was asking Andy Lee what to do against Wilder. No, do I need to tweak this? Do I need to change that? No, you just keep doing this. That'll be key round by round, not to get clobbered by the right or the left of the Chinaman. I do think that trying to seek salvage on the inside will prove more difficult. Zhang is built like an oak tree. He's got relatively short arms for his size. He can let shots go up close, something Wilder can't. And his physical strength, much greater. That was one of the key reasons he defeated Joyce. Joyce, who I feel is a bit of a stylistic problem for Parker, in the sense that Parker probably doesn't crack hard enough to deter him, and then Joyce will always make it a physical bruising fight, and because of pure physicality, will probably always win out on that one. But with Zhang, who doesn't walk you down, but he's so solidly built, that offset Joyce's physicality, and then he was just met with a guy who hits harder and is a better boxer. Zhang's slow feet are kind of Parker's route to victory. He needs to use the ring, come in at interesting angles, surprise him, not leave a trace, mix up his attack. But when he does get closer, when he does have to engage and they're going to exchange a few shots here and there, Zhang is so well balanced and he can't be that far behind Parker in terms of hand speed. It's just a much trickier kind of business. Much of the game plan against Wilder was to do with taking advantage of his clear weaknesses as a fighter, and they had a great reference point, somebody to talk to in Tyson Fury. Zhang doesn't have that many weaknesses. He's, okay, not got the best stamina, but is this a fight in which is going to be contested at a high enough pace to take advantage of that slight flaw? Probably not. This isn't a situation in which Parker can go to work against this guy. He needs to be clever and economic, just like he was against Wilder, but have to deal with more traps, more hazards. So you can probably tell by the tone in which I'm talking that I too am kind of leaning towards the Chinaman to win, probably by stoppage. When you have that kind of one-punch power, and I am very high on short punches. It is a skill in itself. Sometimes it's a bit of a lost art form in the heavyweight division. Zhang has the uppercut. He has a wonderful lead right hook. You see, if you're not just dependent on the straight left down the middle, like a lot of southpaws are, and you've got a right hook to go with it, that just makes you so much more dangerous. But that said, this is one I'm going to have to give a lot of thought as it gets nearer. I want to see if I can glean something from what's going on in the gym with Andy Lee. He knows the task, what's in front of him. They've accepted the fight. They are now going to be trying to really brew up an ideal game plan while still having enough faith in their power. And that's something you can probably always underrate with Parker. People are like, oh, he's, pillow-fisted. That's not true. And you don't necessarily have to knock somebody out for your power to play a part. It can just make them be a little bit more careful, a little bit more tentative. You can get them to fight your kind of fight a little bit more. So, spoons up, like I always say. What do we make of this fight? This is another excellent fight, delivered by His Excellency, Turki Al-Sheikh. I've got no problem calling him that if we're going to continue to get meaningful fights in the heavyweight division. This is probably, for me, the more interesting fight, certainly, than AJ and Ngannou. How do you see it going, and how?